And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone that can hear the sound of my voice to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast, where we venture our petty and ill-informed opinions about a variety of topics. Joining me at the last second, Tom.
Hi.
Kevin will be along shortly. Everyone's running late today, apparently.
Yeah, we're useless. You can't get the staff, can you?
So, how was your week?
Oh, really good, really. We've just come back from Centre Parks, where we had a little getaway with my mum, my dad, my sister, her husband, and all her family, her two daughters, their two daughters, and we had a great time. I think you've seen a couple of pics of Reese doing some climbing. That was really fun. That was great, and yeah, we've done a lot of things that have been really fun. Went swimming countless times. The last time, we did lots of rides. Braved Reese on the most adventurous ride, and just a lot of giving and receiving of lovely presents. We're very lucky, very fortunate, and very privileged, if I'm honest. I've got very generous parents. They're lovely. And hang on one moment.
Dan, no, what? So you've got to go.
Sorry, my kids turned up again.
Dan, no, it's not. I'll bring it up.
I've got my eyes shut.
Good.
Can't see.
Well, that's for the best. Sorry, my kid's being a pest again.
I saw something.
That's the third week in a row. Does he want to come on the show?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But he's looking for his eye mask. He can't go to sleep without an eye mask, and he's looking for that. I'm not sure where he's put it. Oh, Gordon Bennett. But anyway, so while I'm doing the show, I've got to be hunting that bloody thing out. I don't know where he's put it. I don't know what he's done with it. It'll turn up. So yeah, things have been really good. We're just about ready for Christmas. I've got to wrap a lot of presents tonight before I go to bed, so that's going to be a bit of a pain. But it'll be a labour of love. It always is. How about you, Richard? How's your week been?
Been pretty busy with working and getting ready for Christmas.
Oh yeah, that little thing.
About ready. I'm having duck Christmas Day.
Cool.
Got one from the butcher. Very nice. Got a proper butcher, not supermarket. And I got a nice Chinese 5-spice recipe for it.
Okay. Oh, hang on. A Chinese 5-spice duck for Christmas.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound very Christmassy to me, but each to their own. I mean, we can't talk. Some, not this year.
Okay, yeah. Look, I don't even want to know what vegan abomination you're making for Christmas after the pictures last year.
What did we have last year?
You made it looked like meat, but it was actually tofu or something.
Oh, they sort of make fake meat out of processed plant proteins and stuff. It's as processed a food as chicken McNuggets is. So it's not exactly wholesome veg that you might associate us vegan hipsters with. It's more like the Christmas equivalent of a McDonald's burger, definitely. We've got a no turkey roast and stuffing, and we've got various. We've got a fridge and freezer full of this stuff. Like there's a mushroom Wellington, there's a vegetable wreath, all these kinds of bits and bobs. So we're having 3 Christmas meals. On Christmas Eve night, Hannah and I have a meal together. On the day itself, we'll have a big family meal. And on Boxing Day, Hannah's parents are coming down, and we will have hang on, sorry, one moment. That's my kid. He's distracting me terribly.
Aw.
running around trying to find his eye mask.
We Dan, you've got it right. Good one. Thank you. Good night.
Yay.
He's found it, so I'm off the hook. Right,
For now, mate.
you probably heard.
Yeah, did.
Yeah. So, yeah, and on Boxing Day we've got Hannah's parents coming down. We'll go for a bike ride or two or something like that. And yeah, we're doing another vegged up meal for them. Not sure what. We've just got a freezer full of and a fridge full of various vegan Christmassy bits.
Oh, okay. I'm making tempura seafood Christmas Eve with homemade dip. I've also pre-made sausage rolls and Scotch eggs.
Cool.
That's going to be Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, obviously, big old roast duck with all the works. Got bread sauce, got homemade ice cream, Christmas pudding, Yorkshire pudding, roast potatoes, going full whole hog. And on Boxing Day, having fish and chips.
Oh, nice. Who
Homemade. Sorry.
who you spending the day with?
I'm going over to my parents.
Okay. How far away is that, roughly?
Not that far, about 35 minutes.
Okay, cool.
As the gerbil flies.
A gerbil.
Yeah, if you throw them. But yeah, I'm going to do a big homemade Christmas. And yeah, that's it. That's me.
I see. Okay, well, my computer is threatening to power down. It's kicking up a fuss. Definitely. I'm not quite sure why. It's plugged in. It should be charging. So if I disappear, you'll have to bear with me because I'm not quite altogether sure why it's doing this.
I can't show those, Gabby. Those the Christmas cookie pictures. And you know why. You know Gabby. Everyone knows Gabby. Just imagine what you think they look like, and yeah, you're right. I really was hoping Kevin would be here because we've got much to discuss vis-a-vis Eastenders this week.
Yeah. So my power lead really is doing nothing at the moment. It's most definitely not cooperating. So yeah, if I disappear, that will be why.
All good, matey. All good. So you got anything planned for New Year's?
Not sure. Not for New Year's. No, we haven't got that far ahead.
No, we haven't. No, this. No, my laptop really is going to die. I do not know why. It's not happy about something. It will not charge, which is a real pain. You can't run StreamYard from a phone, can you?
Yeah.
I might need to try that because yeah, this is being incredibly daft.
You could try switching it off and on again with the power cable in.
I'm gonna leave and try and rejoin on my phone. Give us a minute.
Righty dokie, skip, flip, jabberwocky. Oh God, I really, why? Just why? Anyway, so he's in the chat. Anyone got any big plans for Christmas? Just around the corner, it's Christmas Eve. I found out today that a lot of Europeans celebrate Christmas tomorrow, like Norway and Denmark. So a lot of my friends are Norwegian and Danish. Is Christmas Day is tomorrow, on the 24th, which just seems like, a bit dodgy to me. the Norwegians traditionally have a sheep's head on Christmas Day. I'm like, okay, that's a bit gross. I don't personally want that. I've never eaten a sheep's head. Oh, he's back.
Yay! It's working on my phone. Hurrah!
Okay, I'm going to turn you down a little bit because you're a bit on the loud side.
Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. So, all right, let's. What else to talk about? What's this game you're playing this week then?
This is Vampire Survivors. As I said, I had a very busy week. I haven't really played many games at all. I've been, cooking and working and stuff before the old Christmas break, and I couldn't be bothered to get into anything major. So this is just like a basic top-down shoot 'em up. The objective is to survive for half an hour.
Okay. No, I love shoot 'em ups.
It's interesting, like how video game graphics got better and better and better, but now we're back to this again, and because of the indie game scene, which I happen to like. Independent games are keeping video games alive, because otherwise we'd be at the mercy of AAA gaming, and they don't even release a finished product anymore. That's what really bugs me.
What, all this beta testing?
No, like when it's finally released, it won't be a finish. It'll be buggy. It'll be broken, and half of it will be locked behind a paywall.
Oh yeah.
If you're lucky, I mean, they've got a term in the gaming industry: minimum viable product. That is the minimum they can do to release a game and get it out of the door, and it's just, ugh. Why does everything have to be about money? Can't we just have some things that aren't about money?
Apparently not. Then do they then rely on do they then rely on online updates?
Yeah, if they bother to patch it. Like Dead by Daylight, the game I normally show, there's still bugs in that game that have been there since day one, and it's been out there for 6 years. Oh man, back in the day, that game was borderline unplayable if you were a killer, because like Survivors had the pallet vacuum, killers couldn't move very fast. Wraith was a horrible killer to play, but they've patched it over 6 years and made it a lot better. Yeah, Goat Simulator, Gabby. Again, an independent game. Independent games are like keeping the franchise going, keeping gaming industry going. And then AAA games, they cotton on to it. Things that indie games have been doing for years, and they go, oh, wait a minute. Disney Dreamlight is basically 3D Stardew Valley with Disney characters. And I'm like, you finally worked it out, eh? That we don't want your bloody perfect graphics in your loot boxes. We just want an enjoyable game experience. Sorry, I'll rant about this. So I have an interesting thought this week.
Go on.
Because my mum watches these absolute pretentious dickheads that have a YouTube channel on a boat. People that live on riverboats. And they're vegan as well, because of course they are. And they went to McDonald's to have a McPlant. Now, I'm like, you can't really go to McDonald's if you're a vegan, because, McDonald's still primarily deals in meat, so you're still supporting the meat industry.
Ooh, a contentious one.
What?
No, I'd take issue with that.
You would?
Yes. But anyway, carry on first.
Would you think they separate the vegan pounds from the meat pounds when they do their totals at the end of the night with the tills?
No. Well, not really, but they'll. Sorry, are you sure you don't want to finish your point before we fall down this rabbit hole?
No. I was trying to get a rabbit hole going.
Oh, okay. Well, let's all rabbit. Well, okay. You can look at it in two ways. Firstly, there's the point of view that you've put forward, which is that as it is, such there's such meat mongers, you really don't want to be supporting them. However, if you want to affect change, then you're better off doing, rather than boycotting. You could, I prefer to support them in their endeavor to make, meat-free products. And by buying them and supporting them, you're encouraging them to keep going down this road. I mean, they're not going to bother continuing making vegan products like the McPlant that they've made. There's a couple of other things. There's one of their wraps is vegan. These fried veg dippers that they then put in with salad and sauce and wrap it all up, and it's really nice. And their fries are vegan. The drinks, most of their drinks are. We obviously not a milkshake and stuff, but I personally support it all because I think it's great that they're catering for us vegans, and I think the more we buy it, the more we encourage them to keep doing that kind of thing. And if we're going to affect it, the changes that we might ideally like to see in society, then boycotting McDonald's is not the way to do it, I don't feel.
Okay, interesting point. I think that's a good argument.
Well, it's how I choose to see it. And I mean, that's what they're trying. They're listening to us. They're saying, okay, well, we'll put something else out there. And personally, I just say, great. And as it happens, it's really, really nice. It's not as nice as the Burger King Whopper. Their meat-free Whopper is amazing. But the best that I've had is actually from a supermarket. It's Aldi's. And it's not a brand either. Not like, there are big brands out there that do it, like Beyond Burger, for example, Meatless Farm, those kinds of things. But Aldi's own one, their burgers are absolutely amazing. And if I cooked one for you, I honestly think you would enjoy it as much as you did the Richmond meat-free sausages, which you admitted weren't too bad at all. But you didn't even have to admit. You were perfectly happy to say, yeah, this they have got right.
I still have them. I have Richmond meat-free sausage sandwiches all the time. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Not bad. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm late. I'm late because everybody doesn't know how to drive on this Christmas Eve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And speaking of Eve, what the hell?
Yeah, we're getting there. But we're having a conversation about, is it okay to eat at McDonald's if you're vegan because you're still supporting the meat industry if you go there?
Now, it is what it is. I mean, how many people can go to a vegan restaurant, drive through and get something, Oh, one of the things that I'll say about it is, at least at a British McDonald's, you are getting localized beef. You know what I mean? It's all British beef or Irish beef. And I know that's objectionable to vegans, but at least it's not like super hormonal beef that somebody's like made in Brazil or whatever, cutting down the rainforest and then shipping it to America. You know what I mean?
That is probably my biggest reason for being vegan is being actively opposed to the destruction of the Amazon,
right,
for beef grazing purposes.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, local produce and things like that, if you can get it at I mean, I'm a huge believer in that, and so it's and it tastes better, and it is much better for you, I think. And That's the thing. Local produce is the way to go. I cut out the middleman. Just go to like a farmer's market and get your stuff. And I think that most
Cut out all the middlemen. Just go to your local farm with a baseball bat.
yeah, you could do that. Are you saying that you have an abattoir behind your house and you just go nick something and then
No, if
cut
we've got
it
a
up?
load of dairy cows, if I was really hungry, I'd just go out there with a baseball bat.
Well, if you're really hungry, all you need to go is just go out there and milk them, and then you could turn it into all kinds of stuff, cheese and all that.
Speaking
No-
of cheese, McDonald's is doing this burger at the moment called the Big and Cheesy,
Yes,
which I've said before how much I love the Big Tasty, which is my favorite burger that McDonald's has ever made. The Big Cheesy gives the Big Tasty a run for its money. Okay, that thing is delish.
right.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I've got that for one of my kids. That they really liked it.
Well,
It is delish.
do they not have the option at McDonald's? I don't know. Burger King sometimes has it in America where you can just swap like what they call an impossible burger onto it, which is a meatless burger.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
so
Well, they were one of the first brands to really go for it, to try to make a meatless burger. It's interesting. I read an article when it was in development. There's a really good magazine over here called The Week. I don't know if you've heard of it, Richard. It's
No.
politics and current affairs, that kind of thing. But it is, it's genuinely eye-opening, and it gives you things to think about that you wouldn't necessarily think of. It's a lowdown of the week's news, but it's it's really good. It's really good to read. And they did a what was it they did? So where were we? They at the end of each week they do something called the last word, and that's a big piece that they've selected from any of the any of the broadsheets, the Financial Times, pretty much, the New Statesman, anything they will, Time magazine. I don't know if they've got the rights to Time magazine because they have to buy these articles from these things and then sort of and then credit the source. And they did this one of many years ago about the development of these burgers, and they said, we're getting better and better all the time. We're getting closer all the time. We really think we're onto something. And the author talked about this burger, and he said it was almost as good as a proper, a genuine beef burger, just not quite. But it was a very close effort. And respectable effort, and it's and I thought, oh well, I'll keep an eye out on that. I'll see if that if that really becomes a thing, and it has, because a lot of the things that it talks about or that it prints in the week, you've yet to see them come to fruition. But this is one that did and has, and yeah, it works. I was just before you popped on, Kevin. I said Aldi's vegan burger is absolutely delicious. It's I honestly, hand on heart, I think it's the nicest burger I have tasted at any point in my life. It is it just tastes really, really nice. It tastes authentic, tastes genuine, and what's not to like? It's fabulous. I forget, it's the ultimate. I would try and find a picture of it, and but I'd mess it up and I'd lose the stream and things like that. But it's of their packaging. It's Aldi's plant menu, meat-free ultimate burgers, and they're just they've got this lovely barbecue type flavor to them. For me, it's basically indistinguishable from ground beef, and I mean, I know, Richard, you've always had a thing about this. You've always thought, if you're gonna not eat meat, then genuinely don't eat meat. Don't bloody fake it and make plants out to be beef. And I know it bugs you, and I do get why. I mean, it's not it's not the same as having a.
It's silly. It's silly. If you're not going to eat meat, don't eat meat.
But we get to eat meat without eating meat.
Well, here's the thing that I find, a lot of times whenever people are comparing, a beef burger to a plant-based burger, they're doing it with, just the patty itself. And so the issue being that when you get all the bun, the salad, the ketchup, and all that on it, it doesn't taste any different. I mean, Sam sometimes buys me or buys an Impossible Burger for herself, and so it'll end up that I get it and she gets the other one. I can't tell the difference. You know what I mean? Once it's all hoovered up as it is, you can't tell the difference. And so that's the way I look at it. I mean, if it makes people happy, then go ahead. Why do I care? All I know is nobody's going to make a pork sausage that's good. You know what I mean? The minute that somebody can make a Cumberland sausage taste good, I'll be surprised.
What is wrong with Cumberland sausages?
No, that's what I'm saying. You couldn't make a plant-based one of those and make it.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you meant the actual Cumberland.
Yeah, I took it that way as well.
Oh, sorry.
Because we were going to fall out there, Kevin. Because Cumberland sausages are one of my favorite sausages.
No, are my favorite too. And that's a nice thing. But because I've got you never got down to the wee town, but there's a butcher down there that's brilliant, mate. You know what I mean? Sausages are perfect, and they make them that day and all that stuff. So
no, there's this supermarket type thing in Donegal.
Yeah,
it was like I don't even know. It's all Irish, all Irish language signs and everything. And I don't know what it was actually called. They did all right, Cumberland sausages.
You don't know what it was called?
No, man, it was all in Irish.
Oh, and they didn't have both?
Nah, it's just the Irish. It was a little town. It was all pretty much Irish. Although, weird thing, the dude that owned the Airbnb was Scottish. And I was just like, that just seems basically wrong, mate.
No, I don't think...
I was doing my fake American accent the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
Just to,
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is this. I mean, people from Britain are seeing Ireland as, an opportunity to, buy up, coastal land with a view and come over and buy it. It's so much cheaper. You know what I mean? It's so much less expensive for that stuff. And that's the way that goes. I mean, I'm sure that, pretty soon Northern Ireland will be very, very English sounding. And because you already get that, you know what I mean? You get down in the town, you get English and American accents and all that stuff. And they're just tourists, you know what I mean? And they come over, but but they love it, you know what I mean? And they say, oh, well, this would be a nice place. And if you've got enough money and you're looking for a second vacation home, that's fine. And you get on easy jets, 39 quid or whatever, to come to the airport, and you're sorted. It's a good wee getaway.
Yeah, I spent more time on the train to the airport than I did on the plane to Ireland, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, it's not far. You know what I mean? It's just not far.
It didn't feel like a long trip at all. It just felt like we took off. We were in the air for a bit and then we landed.
Yeah, I mean you're actually at cruising level for 10 minutes, and then you're
if that, and then you're descending.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing. The ferry, if you wanted to bring your car across is 3 hours from Stranraer, or not Stranraer. They changed it. It's not from Larne to Stranraer anymore. I was from Belfast to someplace close to Glasgow.
Yeah,
And
begins with the C. It's not that far away. I looked into it.
yeah, and you can take your car, and then when you get onto it, and you can rent like a wee cabin for like 15 quid, and you can go in there and just take a nap, get up whenever you're on the other side, and that's it. Which is good if you've got your friends and they're all shithoused from being on the ferry. Because there is
I'm never gonna sleep on a boat. I love the water, so it's very difficult for me to sleep on.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Anyway, we must discuss Eastenders.
Right.
Because
I'm frustrated, mate. I'm frustrated.
Because we gotta start with the big news, okay? Because I laughed my balls off when this happened, and I was like, Kevin's gonna love this. Kevin's gonna love this. They did what we said they were gonna do, and they brought Lola back for a Christmas message.
Yes, Christmas message.
She had recorded a message for Jay, and I was just laughing my balls off on that.
I don't get it, and then
it's like I said, anytime anything major happens, Lola's gonna have recorded a message.
And then you wonder if that lady has actually left the show and did record all that before she left. I mean, because it's funny. She was just on I'm a Celebrity, but she could have recorded that in some place in Australia and forwarded over.
Yeah,
but, yeah. So I wonder if
different than a bedroom. The wallpaper and stuff are all different than the room she
Yes.
died in. So
right.
I noticed.
Yeah, all they gotta do is just put that stupid hat thing on her.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I mean, I don't know. It makes her look like Pepe Le Pew, in my opinion.
I mean, that was on the Friday anyway. That was the last episode of the week.
Right.
And but it did make me laugh my balls off. But we had such a week.
Yeah.
We had the best duff I've seen all year this week. But they're going to have to work really hard to top that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, okay, listen, I said that Mick would come back and Lola would come back. And I was halfway there whenever
1.5 out of 2. I'll give you for that.
Right. I mean, I was going to say once she started getting the text from Mick that says I'm alive, but I'll explain it later. I was like, oh crap, here we go. We got Lola.
It's obviously Dean.
Right.
I mean, it would have been funny if it had been Lola. Don't get me wrong. If she'd gone out there and Lola was standing there like I faked my death to fight crime undercover in Hong Kong.
Yes.
I would have loved that.
Yeah.
But
I'm still waiting for the twin. I'm still waiting for the twin.
Yeah, Lola's twin, Bola.
Yeah. Mola.
Bola. It's just Lola with a false mustache.
Well, she could just dye her hair a different color and then go for that.
Okay, a Duff Gabby is at the end of the episode. Something dramatic happens,
and then
it goes. Right, yeah, and I'm going to admit it. They've been a bit lackluster this year. This week we had the best Duff in ages. It was right, Suki was at her wit's end. She's got the pills in one hand. She's getting ready to end it all. And then Eve walks in the back door. And it was just fantastic. It was a great Duff.
Yeah. Well, we got to start at the start of the week.
Yeah. At the start of the week.
Yeah. The best looking man in Walford, Jack. Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's
had a rough week.
He's a snappy dresser. Okay, so Denise comes back and says that we're done. Yeah. And so he goes out and because he's trying to help Stacy with the whole, where's the Eve thing, and they end up kissing in the hall, and apparently taking her necklace off while they're doing the nasty. I didn't get that.
I don't get how it ended up on the stairs.
Well,
What
we know what
exactly
was
were they doing?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think there was a little backdoor action on the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, they had to be doing it all over the house for it to end up on the stairs. But
Yes,
Backdoor action.
yes. I think he was attacking it from the rear as it was.
Oh God! Well, I rejoined this conversation at the wrong moment.
Yes, but so then he then goes home and tells Denise, "Yeah, I've done it. I've done it with a woman, but I don't know who it is. I just picked up some rando, brought her back to the house, and did her. You know what I mean? And so, what would you feel like if my wife said to me, I just picked up some person I don't know and did him, right? I'd feel worse about that. You know what I mean? Because from a sexual transmitted disease thing, you don't know what you're getting.
yeah,
I
I mean, there's that. There's just, I've got to admit, I thought they were going to sit on that for a rainy day.
Yeah.
I was very surprised that they just blurted it out right away that it was Stacy.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
I mean, they didn't really. I mean, it was just like he was because he's super cop, just decided to meet her in the street in front of the house and say, "Here's your necklace back.
Here's your necklace back, Denise." Wink.
Hang on, guys. Can we just focus on the game a minute? Because Richard is 20 seconds away from victory.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, but I've got it in the bag at this point. I've got all the AOE skills, so it's
Yes.
Death is going to show up in a second, kill me. But yeah, so that was Monday.
Okay, but listen to me here. If it's her Stacy's necklace,
yeah,
what's the point in giving it back to her? You've got to bin it, or else you've got to say to Stacy, "Listen, mate, you can never wear this necklace again."
Yeah.
I'll give you
it
the
was
money.
doomed from the start.
Yeah, because at that point in time, she's seen the necklace, and at that point, I mean, she can't ever wear it again. She's going to put two, But this is, that's it. Okay, so then what happens?
Yeah.
Tuesday.
So Tuesday rocks up. This is when Nish finds out when Suki tries to poison Nish, isn't it?
Yes.
Or is that Thursday?
Yes, and he finds out from Sonia.
Yeah, Sonia tells him that Suki locked up, and for some reason that means he knows that Suki's trying to poison him. Don't understand how that goes.
Well, I guess from the standpoint of that, she's technically not supposed to be there.
Yeah,
because it's the clinic. So then he goes in there, she goes in there, gets a lot of sleeping pills, and decides that she's going to put it in his wine.
Yeah, she's going to kill him, which, don't blame her.
Well, she says, "I'm not going to kill him. I'm going to get him all doped up enough that she's going to tie him to the chair and get the information out of him."
Yeah, I mean, that's also fair. Do whatever you want. You do you, Suki. That's all I care about at that point.
But once you've tied your husband to the chair and decided that's what you're going to do, you're dead anyway. In my opinion, if you're going to do that, you might as well just tie him to the chair, get the 12-volt battery out of your car, and hook it up to his nuts, and then you'll get the information very, very quickly, and that's it.
Yeah, but torch is not a reliable way of extracting information, though. If you beat someone long enough, they'll tell you they were the second gunman on the grassy knoll.
Right, but I'm just saying, Most of the time, by the time they see the battery coming out and the jumper cables, they're going to start spilling.
Yeah.
I'm not saying from experience, but I'm just I'm just
Hey, look, you were in the army during the troubles. I don't want to know what you did. All right.
no. There
But
were yeah.
yeah. So Nish somehow figures out that means that she's going to poison him. I still don't understand that at all. That was a bit of a leap for me. I mean, I know it's a soap opera and everything, but still.
Right. Well, so because she's figured out at that point in time that Nish super knows, right? He knows because of it. She doesn't know how he knows, even though Suki and Eve are making out in front of the CCT camera in the mini mart,
unsubtle way imaginable,
and then sort of left it on the screen whenever he went over to check it.
Was just like, yeah, check us out. Oh yeah, you like that, don't you? Like watching. So anyway, so then we have the big argument between Suki and Nish, I can't fucking emphasize just how badly I hope he's the one that dies this Christmas.
Well, I think we're totally set up for that on Friday.
Well, we're set up for all of them. That's what annoys me.
Right.
I mean, they've been teasing this all year, and they haven't disappointed in setting it up. We all know it's going to be a shit finale because Eastenders always screws up the end game.
Right.
Like it'll turn out it was Bobby.
Yeah, or Rocky, or like Rocky, a minor player in the whole thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, they always fluff it in the end game.
Yeah, right.
Always, but they've done a really good job setting it up.
Yeah, so we now then know that I can't, Dean and I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. The one with the big bun, Linda.
Yeah.
So they meet at where Mick and Linda got married, and he comes out of the thing and says, "I'm sorry," but
I'm sorry I R-worded you.
Yeah, and doesn't say I'm sorry for anything else, and then says this might be some karmic thing because his daughter's dying and won't respond to the thing, and so he's thinking because I'm a bad person now my child's being punished, right?
Yeah,
and so she says, okay, well, why don't you admit that you raped me finally? Why don't you admit that's that? So then he says, Linda, I raped you. Now she says, this is the words I want to hear. Linda, I raped you, and I'm very sorry. And he says, oh, yep. And then she says, well, apologize. And he said, I just did, because he agreed with
because he said, yep.
Yep. And then he says the words. And then, she says, what do you want me to do with that?
Yeah. What do you want me to do? I love that bit.
And then he sort of comes and touches her as she's walking away, and Linda comes around and just
kicks the shit out of him,
thumps him, and I had to admit this was Linda's obviously been in some fights.
Yeah,
because she gets him. She punches him with one blow. He's down on the ground, and then she just uses the strength of her legs to break his ribs and everything else. Brilliant.
The
only thing we missed was the boot to the head.
I would have liked that, but it was before the watershed, so there was only so much violence.
Yeah, all right.
No, Gabby, it is prime time. It's on at prime time over here.
Yeah, and so. Anyway, so that was good. She got a good set in on him, and then
that resolved that storyline neatly.
Well, I mean, not really, because so you're getting through the thing where Nish and Ravi are in jail for presumably because there's a lot of evidence that showed that they did it, and Nish is saying, well, I didn't really do anything because, Ravi did it. So he set his son up to take the fall for him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As you do. And then, so then we get to the point where um, the cop, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Jack.
Yeah.
Jack is covering for the fact that Eve and Suki are alive, and he says, "Okay, that's it. You got to leave in the morning. You got
to go."
Yeah, and as everything has happened with Eve and Suki, they apparently just cannot take a taxi somewhere else.
Well, it was Vinny and then Nugget, wasn't it?
Yeah, but okay, so that's fine. But I mean, if Stacy's got a comfort nugget, go out the back door, and sneak around, get on a bus even, and just get the frig out. They are
definitely just leave.
They are incapable of leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave.
Well, it's in the script that they have to stay.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but like whenever Keanu's mom and
Mitch,
kid, and Mitch just got in a van and just drove off.
Just literally got in a van and left.
Just drove off. And
it looked like in one episode.
Yeah,
just like, okay, we're out.
Yeah.
But Suki and Eve just can't stay. We also got bloody Zach and Whitney finally fostering a child, and I couldn't for the life of me understand why that was a part of this week's show.
Because I was you know what I thought at that moment? Because Zach he goes and nicks some apples or gets them. I don't know what he's done. Yeah. And he's got a red one and a green one, and he's got it behind his back, and he's trying to get the kid to like him because the kid's always standoffish. And then he says, "Do you want an apple?" And so he's switching it back and forth. The kid actually then agrees to take the he says, "Do you want this apple?" And I laughed because I thought that the perfect response to that would have been, because Zach was bending down, kneeling down, was for the kid to go up, plant one in his balls, and say, "How do you like them apples?"
That was good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Jeremy Kyle was daytime TV.
Yeah.
Gabby. So obviously we've got the six women: Denise, Kathy, Sharon, Stacy,
and they're all stuck at the Caroline concert in the square, and they're there, and all the women are eyeing up the people who've done them wrong,
that they may have to kill.
Yes.
Obviously, someone's going to die. It's Christmas. Someone's going to die. Someone always dies at Christmas. It's an Eastenders rule, and they've set this up all year. And
now Sam noticed this, and I didn't notice this, but she went back and she looked at the time that every the person gets killed, and she says, "Look at those cufflinks." So they set it up that it's got to be one of those people who got a set of cufflinks from Dodgy
Alfie, Alfie and Billy.
Alfie. So it's got to be either Nish. Ravi didn't get any. Ravi did not get a set of cufflinks, so it's Nish, Rocky, and the bridal part, whoever's the man in the wedding.
Yeah.
So Keanu, and does he have a best man? That he's going to. So it's got to be either Keanu, one of the best men, Rocky, or Nish.
Yeah.
That's what Sam came up with, because she noticed that.
But they had the line. They made a point to say that they'd sold them to half the men in the square.
Right.
So,
but if you're looking at the ones who actually had bought them at the time.
Yeah, but like they said that they'd sold them to half the men. Like someone could have bought them off screen. I think the cufflinks have always been a red herring. So like obviously we thought Ravi was going to be Denise's dude to kill,
Yes.
but now it's looking like it could be Jack.
Yes.
So we've got like 6 women, 6 potential targets. Who do you think is going to die on Christmas?
I hope it's Nish.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Because I don't know, because Nish has killed a man before out of jealousy.
Yeah.
And she says, I never did anything with you, but she was making eyes at his wife. That was kind of a thing that said you killed the wrong man, because I fancied his wife.
I like that they got that line in. That was good stuff. I hope it's Nish too, honestly. But as you said, it's EastEnders. They always fumble the end game. It's probably going to be Rocky. Or just Bobby again. Bobby will just randomly die. No,
Yeah.
I'm never letting that go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but what, is Rocky? I mean, I don't know. I think Kathy, although he's boned her so many times and said, "This is it. I'm never going to do it again. I'm never going to do it again." I think she's going to take him back. I think she's gonna be full of Christmas, kindness and regret, and she'll take him back, even though he's a scumbag. Because
He's a scumbag.
Well, you see, but that's it. Her life has been full of scumbags. Why break it now? Why break it now?
He's still better than Gavin. He's better than Phil.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, her first husband was all right back in the old days.
Pete, yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. But everybody's got something, and then maybe somebody now that this guy has admitted that he's a rapist, maybe somebody just beats him up.
I don't know. I think they're going for a redemption arc for him. Although, how are you going to do a face turn on an admitted rapist is going to be difficult even for EastEnders standard.
Right. Especially when it's like, yes, I raped you, but I live across the street from you.
Yeah, mind you, like they pulled it off with Stuart. Like Stuart was a complete and total heel, but they managed to pull off a really good face turn for him.
Right.
In the end.
All I'm saying is that's a rough place. I'm sure you could hire somebody to bump somebody off pretty cheaply.
What, in EastEnders, yeah.
In the East End, I'm sure that's not out of the thing. And here's at least batter him to the point where they say, "Don't come back."
Yeah. Christmas Day, Monday, we're all gonna wait in anticipation. Obviously, I think we'll be doing a show next week.
What time does it come on?
7:30 Monday.
7:30, and what? So it's going to be Doctor Who, and because Doctor Who always has a Christmas episode, right?
Yep. Yeah. Looking for it, definitely.
What do you think? What do you think that's going to be like, Tom?
Well, it's I was very happy with the episodes that they made, in the run up to those last 3 David Tennant episodes. I was perfectly happy with them. I thought they were fun, enjoyable. I thought it was clear that Russell T Davies was just getting back to the fun of it all. I wasn't looking for anything overly sophisticated. In fact, quite the opposite, because personally, I found Stephen Moffat's style quite hard to digest, and Chris Chibnall's era didn't really work for me. So I'm not surprised they've gone back to RTD. Bringing Russell T Davies back out, I think it can make perfect sense. And I've really enjoyed it. I have every reason to believe that we're heading for the best era that Doctor Who will have enjoyed for some time.
Yes.
And it's to me, it's very much a case of game on.
Game on.
So you don't think this will be some kind of a scary one like the Weeping Angels or
I'm not expecting that straight away.
yeah,
I mean, it could very well be sort of, in the card.
or the creepiest episode ever where the kid's in the gas mask.
Oh, that was the Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. That was Christopher Eccleston's season. That was actually the first episode written by Stephen Moffat, and it was so well received. It was what put him in the driving seat for, well, first of all, many future episodes, and following that, it put him in the driver's seat for to become the eventual, showrunner and producer.
Right.
Steve Moffat and Mark Gatiss are like absolute geniuses, but if you go back and watch League of Gentlemen and say one day those two are going to be British television royalty, I'd have not believed you.
Well, the thing that I'll say, okay, and I'm going to say this is the last thing I'm going to say about EastEnders, but I want you to give me your opinion. Now, the creepy kid thing reminded me of when Keanu takes Albie and has him in the little car, and he's ready to get the car going, and he can't get it going. And the little kid turns to him, and I think this was AI. I don't even think the kid did it. And then he's like talking to him about this, and the kid goes, "Mommy, mommy."
Yeah.
That freaked me out, man. It wasn't the kid's voice, and it was obviously some weird. I mean, I still say to Sam, I still turn to Sam and go, "Mommy, mommy." It's just weird. Okay, what else Christmas specials are there coming up?
Good question.
Ghosts, I think, is doing one.
Oh, I love Ghosts.
Yeah, I love a bit of Ghosts.
But but the American Ghost sucks balls.
Yeah. I mean, that's usually the way, isn't it?
Yeah, they just get it all wrong.
It's because Americans like happy endings and British people don't.
Well, they don't get the irony of it all, and
No.
There's not because England is so long, or like the history of England is so long that it's and they are the archetypal people from different times. It just works out. I mean, how can you take 1,000-year basic history, if you look at whenever England was really formed, and then compare that to 200 years in America? It just doesn't work out. I mean, America's a big country, but still it doesn't have the same sort of archetypal thing that you can
Well, I mean, depends on which Americans you ask, I guess. I mean, the natives were there for a while, weren't they?
Yeah. Well,
they don't count as real people.
Now, a fact that most Americans don't know is that
Puerto Rico's part of America.
Well, no. Well, yeah, no, it's a protectorate, yeah. But the Native American males and females did not actually qualify for American citizenship until 1923.
That is ridiculously fucked up.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that's one of those things that when you're talking about the good old days, I mean, there never was the good old. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, the '60s were great," but you still had Jim Crow laws, and you didn't have you couldn't marry a white woman in some states if because they didn't like mixed marriages in that time. I just don't get it. You know what I mean? There were no good old days. There just weren't. But that's the thing. We're yearning to go back to a time that never existed. I don't know.
You're definitely right about that, I think, Kevin. It's nostalgia is a really phantom thing.
Yes.
Okay, here's how I look at it, really briefly, because I think we're probably running out of time.
Yeah, we're at the end of the night.
Okay, here's how I look at it. We went to a few years ago a transport museum, and there was a shop like set up like the 1920s for mechanical bits and bobs, bicycle works, car gear, maybe 1930s. And everything was in these tins. It looked absolutely gorgeous. It looked amazing. And obviously you see this, you meant to think, God, wish it was like this again. I'd love to go back here. Well, I mean, that was kind of a subtext. But then what struck me is sort of the phantomness of nostalgia, because, I mean, imagine it, the people like it, the people who were there at the time could not possibly appreciate it the way we do now with the passage of time. Put it this way. It was just normal and ordinary for them.
Mhm.
Imagine somebody time traveling and coming back to our British High Street now in 2023. We're all busy saying, oh, it's rubbish in the High Street. Everything's closing down. All there is Primark and Poundland and a load of charity shops and a load of places to eat and drink because everyone buys everything from Amazon and it's rubbish. However, somebody 20, 30 years, they got in Doctor Who's TARDIS and came out, they think, wow, this High Street is great. This is amazing. We'd be like, what? What's so amazing about it?
Yeah.
It would be exactly the same.
Right.
And we don't feel like we're living in any particularly special era now. I mean, we don't go to the High Street and think, wow, we think the opposite.
Yeah.
And people back then, you know, seeing those shops as they were in the 1930s and 40s, they would have probably been longing for the past the way we do. That's what I'm saying. I think it's completely subjective with nostalgia.
Well, and the thing about it is,
We've already solidified our place in history with the coronavirus, though.
yeah,
100 years from now, they're going to compare that to the Black Death and the Spanish flu.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because they, you know, like the way that they do make fun of plague doctors back in the day with their little beaks and all that stuff, and they'll say, "How stupid were these bastards?" You know what I mean? You're taking horse dewormer. I mean, you know, they'll just laugh. They'll just laugh. But you know,
Edgy.
what? But here's the thing about the 1930s and all that. The thing that was really tough about it is that, you know, at that point in time, there was no supermarkets or anything like that. So, because I remember whenever supermarkets came in, I mean, I'm that old. And so, you know, that was the first time that you could go to a shop and actually pick things off the shelf yourself. Because before that, you went into the shop and you told them what you wanted, and they got it from the counter, and then they put it down. You know, I put it down for you. So, I mean, my papa's shop was like that. You couldn't pick up anything yourself. So how do you know what you're getting? You know, in that point in time. So, you know, from that standpoint, there was like no deals. It seemed like, you know, it's just like you get that, put it down, and that's what you get. So from that standpoint, they would say there's not enough choice or freedom to do that, because I remember that was the thing. So we've gone from that system to, you know, supermarkets, to buying it on the internet and expanding choices, you know, that's the thing. So you're right, Tom. It is one of those places where, you know, it's all about we don't have the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker now on High Street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's an era that's gone, you know. But it will be filled with something else eventually, you know, once the economy picks up. I'm convinced of that. We'll get there. We'll get there. That's all I'm saying.
Either that, or I mean, there are people who say the High Street is doomed.
Well, maybe, but I mean, you know, in a lot of times with the high streets, they'll make them into apartments. I'm sure. You know what I mean?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, the shops will just be run by AI.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's the thing. They say that in there's Amazon shops that you can go into and you don't do anything. You just pick up the items and leave, and it uses the computer system or whatever to know what you've all got, and you walk out the door. and it
Yep.
charges you for it on your Amazon thing or whatever.
Brilliant. Yeah, that'll wrap us up for this week, won't it? On
Yeah.
that bombshell. We will return next week. It's not Christmas. It's not New Year's Eve, is it? No. We will return next week. Despite the hopes of many, well, we will probably have a lot to discuss considering there's Eastenders every day next week. So look forward to an Eastenders heavy episode next week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's it's a heavy flow week next week.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a great Christmas.
Good night, people.